Now, as of, what's the day? Wednesday, the Minnesota Vikings haven't made a decision on who's going to start against the Green Bay Packers on New Year's Eve. They kind of kept it under suspense. I think Nick Mullins and Jaden Hall were taking snaps at practice today. But after watching 5 games, I believe, of Josh Dobbs and 2.5 games of Nick Mullins, it's time to go back to the rookie Jaden Hall. It's time for them to make the switch once again and let him be the first QB under center on Sunday. Against the Atlanta Falcons, small sample size, but also in preseason, I thought Jaden Hall looked fine. Going back to that Falcons game, he looked like he belonged. I mean, he didn't seem rattled when he was out there. The 2 possessions, was it 2 or 3 possessions that he had? He knew where to go with the ball. He led the Vikings downfield on their first scoring drive. And, man, if he would have just dropped that ball in there perfectly to Hockenson, he would still be playing today, honestly. 25 years old, I believe that's how old he is, and what he was able to do at BYU, he's got a good level of maturity to him. That's what I like about Hall. Also, he can zip that ball in there. He's got a good arm. He can zip that ball in there to receivers, tight ends, running backs, whoever he's throwing to. And he's got a level of mobility to him, which is kind of what you need in most modern-day NFL quarterbacks now. Vikings, they're 7-8 right now. You're one of the most injured teams. You just lost Hockenson for the season. You just lost DJ Wonnum. Just a long list of players that have been hurt, unfortunately, for a season which we know what this team looks like when they're fully healthy. Pretty dang good team. I mean, they went toe-to-toe in a way with Philadelphia, almost beat Kansas City if it wasn't for the refs, and they beat San Francisco. So when this team is kind of at full strength, we know that this is a good team. But realistically, even if you want to get in the playoffs, you're going to have to win out. You're going to be scoreboard watching, hoping that the Seahawks and Rams can lose some games over these next couple of weeks. And even if you get into the playoffs, you're only realistically going to win maybe 1 game, but you're most likely going to be a one and done. So, like I said, Dobbs and Mullins, they've done some good stuff since they've been with the Vikings, but they kind of sabotage your chances at controlling your own destiny and actually getting in the playoffs. So, it's another reason why I think they need a turn to the rookie. I don't think Hall is that turnover prone as Dobbs and Mullins is. You really need a quarterback that can take care of the football. If the Vikings had a quarterback over these past few games that could have taken care of the football, then you would have won some dang games. But I don't think Hall is that bad when it comes to him turning the football over. I don't think that's something that you really have to worry about with him. But I don't know, and it's another reason why we need to see what we have in this rookie. A hypothetical situation: if Hall does get the start, he plays well against the Packers, he plays well against the Lions, and let's say he gets into the playoffs, this team somehow gets in the playoffs with the Seahawks and or Rams losing, and he performs well in the playoffs and even wins a playoff game, then that answers the biggest question that this team has going into the offseason, which is the QB position. I don't know if Kirk Cousins is coming back, and even if he does, we don't know how he's going to respond to that injury he suffered in Green Bay. We don't know the terms in the contract, and if you want to draft a guy, you're not going to be in a position to get a Caleb Williams, a Drake May, a Jaden Daniels without using resources to trading up, even though I do like J.J. McCarthy. You find out what you have in a guy you drafted in the 2023 draft, then you're saving yourself a whole lot of resources heading into this upcoming offseason, and you don't have to worry about the quarterback position, which is the most important position in sports. Defensive infrastructure is mostly there. I do believe that this team is going to have to invest in a running back and a wide receiver again this offseason, with KJ Osborne likely being gone, and we don't know where Brandon Powell is going to be. But if Hall is the answer, then you can spend big and use your big draft resources on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, in the first round, you can go edge rusher. Second round, you go defensive tackle and cornerback. And then from there on, you go best player available after that. But you have to find out what you have in your rookie quarterback that you already have on the roster first, and that is Jaden Hall.